everybody, this is Mandy, and this is my new channel, Cajun Thrifts. I am a thrifter, a reseller. Me and my husband both do this together. We're a partnership. We sell our items on eBay for profit. We started, let's see here, what started the whole process? I've always been a thrift store shopper. So back in my previous marriage, I found out about Goodwill and that you could buy a whole bunch of clothes for really cheap, and thought that was fantastic because the mall was an hour away from where I lived at the time, and everything was expensive, and it was hard to go, and quite frankly, my husband at the time had a hard time with me spending money, so I didn't. So a good happy medium for us is for me to go to Goodwill and get my clothing there. So I did that. And then I found out that Goodwill has half-off days, and in my area, half-off days were the first Saturday of every single month. So then I was like, oh, I can get them even cheaper now, and so I became like really cheap, right? That's what it sounds like. But some of the clothing you find there can actually be pretty good quality, and sometimes you can find new items with tags still on them and everything, so you know they're brand new and all that, and you're getting them really for a fraction of the cost. And especially one of the Goodwills that I was near was right next to a Goodies, which I believe is out of business everywhere now, but no, actually that Goodies is still in business down there. So there's Goodies still available, but most of them around where I live now have closed down. Anyway, so that one was right next to a Goodies, so a lot of times Goodies would clearance things, and if they wouldn't sell, they would donate them to the Goodwill, and then Goodwill would sell them. Oh, I love that. I got some nice boots that way. Anyway, I had a love for thrifting, and I had a knack for it and things like that. I ended up getting a divorce from that husband. I got remarried now to my husband, Terry, who is a Cajun from Louisiana. They were from DeRidder, Louisiana. And I just fell in love with the guy. I couldn't help it. Totally fell in love with him. And the fact that he's Cajun, I love that part of him. It's very interesting what I've learned about that culture and everything. And about the food. God, I love the food. And he likes to cook. I don't have to cook. It's nice. So anyway, one day we were sitting there watching TV, just flipping through the channels, and we came across the show that was called Thrift Hunters. And so some of y'all in the thrifting community do know that show very well, and know Jason T. Smith, who also has his own YouTube channel here. So anyway, I was watching the show, and I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, how do they know to get those things and that's going to sell on eBay? That's bizarre to me, because it just seemed like everyday things they were finding. I'm like, I don't understand this. This is weird. It just really seemed strange to me. And then that's whenever my husband turned to me and said, you know what? I really think you could do that. And I was like, what? He goes, well, you used to thrift all the time, so you know how to find good quality items. So now it's just a matter of going out there and then selling them on eBay. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And so I just kind of thought about it for a little bit, but I was like, there's got to be something about this. They're not just picking up random items and selling them. That's weird. That doesn't make sense. There's got to be a reason why they're picking the items they're picking. And so then I went to YouTube and started researching the tar out of everything I could. And what was interesting is I didn't even know what they were called. I knew the show was called Thrift Hunters, but I didn't know that, like, the wording or the position is called a reseller or a thrifter or anything. I didn't know what I was looking for even. So I searched and searched and searched, and then finally found, going through Thrift Hunters, I found Jason's channel, and so I saw that he's still a thrifter now. He's got his own YouTube channel and things like that. And this was like 3 years ago, I think, whenever this happened. So, it's 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. No, it had to have been 3 because Xander was a baby, and Xander's 4 now. So, yeah, so 3 years ago. Um, and I was like, okay, so I found a couple of his videos. I still didn't quite understand what was happening. Finally I stumbled across a Thrifter, which was a thrift channel, a YouTube channel, whatever I'm trying to say, a YouTube channel for See and Save. And so she actually had a video, I'm pretty sure it was her, that explained mugs and how in the world you find mugs that are worth things. I didn't understand. I'm just like, people are just buying mugs and selling them on eBay. What the heck is this? It made no sense to me. And so, anyway, I was like, okay, so there is a method to this. So that was the first thing that told me that, yeah, you do have to do your research to know what to sell. So I was like, okay. So then I just went full-fledged into researching everything I could. And so I tried different ways of researching and things like that. I came across Bonafide Hustlers channel. I came across Raking Profits channel, which is where I learned a lot about clothing and things like that. I came across the Thrifting Lounge channel, where I also found that there's YouTube groups as well that talks about things. And so then I was getting on the YouTube groups and reading a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's crazy how much research I was doing, but I had plenty of time to do it, and I was very curious about it because I wanted to make sure I had enough information to go out my first time and, not totally bomb, right? That's what everybody's goal is. Can I please make some money out of my first trip? So I finally felt like I got enough information that I went out and decided to thrift. So I was like, okay, we're going to do it. First trip, oddly enough, I didn't even go to Goodwill, which was very strange. I went to America's Thrift Store, which is around here, and I went there and I was like, okay, cool, let's go look. So I found a whole bunch of things. I think some of the first things I found were Garfields. For some reason, a whole bunch of Garfield plushes were donated all at one time, and I thought that was strange. But I liked Garfield as a kid. Maybe other people will like Garfields. So I bought every Garfield they had. Looking back on it now, that wasn't a smart idea. Okay, because really you should diversify yourself. Because I told myself I'm going to spend $20. I'm going to see what I can get with $20. I'm going to see what I can do with it. Okay, so I bought, I think, 6 different Garfield plushes. And then I went to like the mugs, and I didn't really find any mugs that looked interesting. So I don't think I got any mugs actually. And then I went to like the glassware, and I was like, oh, Coca-Cola glasses that are Christmassy. Yay, let's pick those up. Or no, they were Pepsi glasses, sorry. Pepsi glasses that were Christmassy. And then I saw the Coca-Cola glasses that are just like the traditional Coca-Cola glasses. Like, let me pick these up as well. Everything Coca-Cola sells. Alright, and then I picked up these, what was it? Training ice skates, which was really weird, okay, because I'm in Tennessee right now. So we don't have ice skating rinks except for like an hour and a half away. We do now because they actually pour an ice skating rink downtown where I'm at now. But back then they didn't have that. So it didn't even make any sense why this was in a thrift store in my area. It was very strange. So I was like, okay, let me pick this up. Why not? Let's see what happens. Because people up north will probably want them. We'll see what happens. So, okay, I get all these things home. I think that was all I got. And I was like, okay, we're going to do this. And I start listing things on eBay. Didn't even know what in the tar I'm doing. Because the only thing I've ever listed on eBay before that was coupons. I used to be a crazy coupon lady. I used to, like, my aunt-in-law at that time worked, or knew people that worked at the newspaper and could get me a whole bunch of inserts. And she's like, here, sell these extra ones online. And then, get some money for, your time for it or something. It's not like you can get a whole bunch of money for selling coupons anyway. And you're not technically selling coupons. You're selling the time it took to get the coupons. and to ship them out and all that kind of stuff. So you really don't make much off of that anyway, but that is the only experience I had off of selling anything on eBay. So I kind of knew how eBay worked, but I didn't know a lot about it. So anyway, I go in and I list all these items and everything like that, and I wait. And I wait. And I wait some more. And it seemed like it took freaking forever. And I was just about to give up on the whole daggum thing. And then all of a sudden, cha-ching! I got my first sale. And I'm like, what? And you know what it was? Was it the Garfields? No. Was it the glasses? Nope. It was those daggum training ice skates. It sold to somebody in New York. And I was like, yay! I sold them. I was so excited. I got my first sale. Yay! And then I go to ship them. Oh, crap. I messed up. So I didn't even make a profit on my first sale because I didn't think about how much they would weigh. I didn't have a scale or anything like that. So needless to say, the very next day, I went out and bought a scale because I'm like, I'm not going to do this again. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. We're going to have everything weighed. I'm going to know what it is so that way if I sell anything else, I'll at least know how much it's going to ship for and I won't lose my money in shipping costs. So I was like, okay. And eventually I sold some Garfields. I was like, yay, I sold another one. And this time I didn't mess up on the shipping. So I was excited. So I was finally making a profit. And my husband was excited too. He's like, hey, this is actually going to work. All right, now I'm interested. So then we started going yard selling. And he was going with me. And this was whenever I learned something interesting. He's got a good eye for thrifting. So my eye is more on quality control. His eye is, I think this is good, this will sell. And it never fails. Every single time he picks something out, it does. And sells great. And it's really weird because like he'll point things out and I'm like, that's strange. He goes, no, trust me, it will sell. Like I remember we went to Goodwill one time and there was this doll. And I'm like, oh my Lord, I'm not going to sell this doll. And he goes, yes, sell it. It seems like it looks important. And I'm like, okay, whatever, we'll get it. It's only like $1, so let's get it, why not? And so I'm looking to try to research this thing. I couldn't even find the doll anywhere. So I finally found it somewhere, and I'm like, oh, this is actually part of a pair of dolls. Well, that stinks. I only have the one. Well, you know what? The doll sold, and sold for full price. She was extremely happy, gave me wonderful feedback, and said that she had lost her other one, and now this one's going to go with it. And so now she's got her set back. So it was fantastic. I was excited, especially when you get something like that where somebody's really happy about it and things like that. So anyway, that's what started everything with selling or reselling through eBay. So I grew my business and kept growing and kept watching people on YouTube, learning everything I can and things like that. And then I got a new position at work and everything tanked after that because I did not have time for anything. So I had to stop the eBay stuff. I still had my things listed, but I didn't list anything new. So eventually things kind of fell off and I wasn't getting any sales. I'd get maybe one every week or something like that. And then it became one every month. And then it was like one every couple months and things like that. I never really got rid of my store. I have no idea why. Looking back, I probably should have put it on hold or something like that during the time I knew I wasn't going to be selling. But I didn't. And so then I kept working on my job and things like that, and things got back to a normal pace at work, and I was like, you know what, I really want to get back into reselling. And I had actually found Lindy Glenn's channel during some of this process of researching and stuff too, and she was actually the one that I kept watching her channel, and I'm like, I really want to get back into it. I was feeling the itch, you know, when you feel the itch of wanting to get back into it, wanting to make money and things like that, because it was easy money to an extent. I would say, because it's easy, but listing is a lot. So, and in fact, I still had all of my crap that I'd bought at yard sales and things like that I still didn't finish listing. It was death piles beyond. I mean, like, I'm pulling them back out. They're zombies at this point trying to sell them, right? So I was like, oh great, we've got to go through some of this stuff first. So I start going through my old inventory and figuring out what's still worth something and what's not even worth it for me to list. So I threw out some things, donated them back. Some of the things I kept, I still have a great deal of inventory, and things like that. So, oh, and I forgot to mention, before I stopped, I had gotten up to top rated seller as well as a power seller. So I was already achieving everything that I wanted to achieve in eBay. Never got to Power Seller Plus status, but I did get to regular power or Top Rated Seller Plus. But I was Top Rated Seller, and I was happy with that because you could definitely see, shipping discounts, and you were getting more views on your stuff and things like. It was nice. So I did love being a Top Rated Seller, but like I said, because of the fact my job, I'd gotten a promotion, I needed to take some time away from that to focus on that job for a little bit. So now I am trying to get my business back up and running. My husband isn't helping me very much right now because we don't need to source right now because, like I said, I still have the death piles, the zombified death piles that I have to pull out and get listed. And then also, my mother-in-law ended up moving in with us, and she has a whole bunch of stuff. Like, they were hoarders. Just saying, they were hoarders. And my father-in-law, he's passed away, which is part of the reason why my mother-in-law moved in with us. But he was one that loved as seen on TV stuff. And what was funny about him is he would buy like 3 or 4 of things and not open them. So we were going through her stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, you can have it. I don't want it. So, you know what? I'm selling all that stuff on eBay now. So, because it's not anything that's sentimental by any means or anything like that. And she was fine with us letting go of some of it, as well as some of his clothing and things like that. So we've added to our zombified death piles with some of this stuff as well. So because of that, I'm trying to go through some of that stuff and list and get my business back up and running. I recently hit 100 listings in my store. It did take a while, and it was one of those, it seemed like so huge to get back started again, but I decided that I'm going to make it simple for myself and just do like 4 listings a day and try to stick with that. And that has helped a great deal. We've got some good sales going already. Not like extreme like some of the sellers are in YouTube land, but I am just a part-time seller. Just saying. It's just one of those, I want to get extra money to help with house expenses, paying off debt, Christmas, all of those things is why I'm doing it. And my husband will join me on this channel as well as we do go thrifting at some point in time. But right now it's just going to be listing and selling for a little bit. But I did want to, share my story. I want to kind of document my process going through getting this channel back, or this channel, oh my god, this store back up and running. And so that's the reason why I wanted to film. So if you're interested in seeing how you can get your store back up and running, or, it's not a new store, it's an old store, but I'm kind of starting new again, and so I'm sure anybody that's new may take something from this as well. So I want to share my knowledge as well of anything that I've learned along the way also, and all of that. So if you're interested, feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you here, and I will be updating pretty frequently. I do things on eBay each day right now to keep it active, but that's about it. That's all I've got right now. So I hope you'll stick around and subscribe and all that good stuff. So, till then, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.